Hi, I'm Rich Charters.
And I'm Jenny Charters.
And today we're going to talk about a strategic Euro game called Keyflower.
Yep.
Okay, so Jen, before we start playing the game, let's talk about the components and explain the rules a little bit, and then let's play a game, okay?
Okay.
So can you show these components here a little bit?
Yep.
And I'll just explain what they are. First of all, you see there's a lot of meeples here in three colors, red, yellow, and blue. And all these meeples just get thrown in a bag. These represent, this game is about coming to the new world. And so these represent the workers that come from Europe to the new world, seeking their fortunes and whatnot. And there's three different types of workers, and actually there's a fourth, which is green, that we'll get to in a minute. But all these you randomly pick in the bag because there's the way these workers are introduced to the game is by random draw. Okay, and so that's one component. And then the next thing we have over here, can you see this, Jen?
Yep.
These are various, forget what they call, some kind of tiles, but at any rate, it gives you a ability or action. You can see there's a saw here, which obviously helps with wood. There's a hammer, which helps to get the stone, and there's a anvil, which helps to get iron. And these are also a blind draw. You're supposed to just put them face down, but we find it's easier just to use a bag. So that's another set of components. And then the four resources in the game, if you can show here, Jen, you have wood, you have stone, you have iron, and you have gold. Gold is a wild card that can be substituted for any of these others. Now, all these meeples are hidden in the game, so everybody has this little house. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, a house, and you notice there's artwork on both sides, and this is just a shield, so you can keep your certain things hidden. So we'll both have one of those. And then if you can can you see these green workers here? These are another set of meeples, and it's just they are introduced in a different way, so they're a little different. They don't start the game in the meeple bag, but they're introduced in other ways, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And then finally there's a start meeple here, and we're going to use this other little bird for our start player, but there's a little purple meeple with his arm up. That's the normal start player. Okay, now let's talk about the gameplay a little bit and how the rules are done. Can you zoom in on this sheet here, Jen?
Uh-huh.
All right, great. The game of Keyflower is played in 4 seasons. So you start in spring, and then it's summer, it's fall, and then it's winter. The first 3 are basically the same. Winter is a little bit differently, so we'll talk about that. But on your turn, what do? Well, there's really only 3 choices for this game. So you can bid for a tile, or you can use a tile, or you can pass. So that's all you do. You just go around the table from the start player, either bidding on a tile to win it and put it into your village. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be various tiles that come out in this game. For a 2-player game, there'll be 6. And when these tiles come into the game, we're going to bid on them, or we're going to use them. And then if we win the bid for this tile, we get to pull it and set it into our individual building. That's one thing very interesting and kind of unique about this game. And Jen, tell me your thoughts on this. It's very hard to kind of characterize this game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because let me ask you this, is this a bidding game?
Sort of.
Yeah, of course. Is it a worker placement game?
Yeah.
I guess it is. Is it a tile laying game?
Yes.
Yes. Is it a pick up and delivery game?
Sure.
Yes, because inside your village you have to pick up and deliver resources. So it's kind of, this game does a lot of things, and it mashes these mechanics together, I think, very well. But at any rate, these are the 3 things you do. So let's talk about the bidding for a minute. I just created another tile because this is kind of an interesting thing. If I have a tile here, and it's we'll just have, in the game, we'll have 6 of them out each season. But let's say it's Jen's turn. And so she decides she wants to bid. She could start, for instance, by saying, I'll bid 1. And we each have one side of the tile, so we know who's bidding where. And if I really wanted this tile, it's the quarryman, I would have to outbid her. She's bid 1, and I would have to bid 2. Notice the color is the same. Once she's bid 1 red, this tile is now red, and you can only bid with red tiles on it. Matter of fact, if we didn't bid first, let's say it was Jen's turn and she didn't bid, she decided instead to use the tile. You can also use tiles. She just places a meeple on there, and what would she get? 2 stone. I don't know if you can see that, Jen. Is that clear
Yeah.
enough? There's 2 stone that you would get if you use the tile. And after it's upgraded, you get a stone and a gold. But if she used that tile there, and then I decided I want to bid on the tile and get it into my village, then I would have to bid on my side, but I'd have to adhere to the color that she started with. So this tile is now designated for red on this round, so I'm going to have to bid with red. I could bid 1, I could bid 2, I could bid any number, and then Jen would have to outbid me if she wanted that tile. So that's kind of how the bidding works. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how to score points in this game. There's really, at the end of the game, 6 ways you'll score points. The first is upgraded tiles in your village. As I said, we'll be bidding on tiles, we'll be winning those tiles and setting them in our village. Well, why do you want tiles in your village? Well, first of all, you can use them, but it's also so you can get points. If you can see this tile, you notice that if it were upgraded, and to upgrade a tile, you flip it over, you notice there's a number in the top right of this rectangle, and that says 3. That says this is 3 points at the end of the game. So that's as simple as this is. If it were not upgraded, it would be worth 0 points. But once I upgrade that tile, because of that 3, it is now worth 3 points. So that's one way. Second is storage tile. If you get on all of the right resources on the right tiles, then you get points for that. And that's why there's a pick up and deliver element, because if you get the tile in your village, it really frankly does you no good unless you can move resources to that tile. So that's the second way. The third way is variable victory point tiles. So most of the winter tiles are this way. Matter of fact, they all are except for one. This just says there's certain combinations. Like it may say, hey, for every green meeple that you have at the end of the game, you get a couple points. Well, then that tells me you may want to collect meeples green meeples throughout the game, that type of thing. The fourth is turn order tile. So at the end of the game, you can actually, throughout the game, we'll be bidding for turn order, and if you get this tile and win the bid for this if you win for the bid for this particular tile, you will become the first player in the game. Well, at the end of the game, you can actually, if you win the bid, you get to keep it, and then you put it in your village, and you can see this little icon says, hey, if there's any tile touching this one, then that's worth 1 point as well. So there will be some points for your turn order tile. And similarly, there's also boat tiles in this game that bring the new workers to the new land. And if you win these boat tiles at the end of the game, then in fact, that's worth bonus points at the end as well. There's different conditions on the bottom of each boat tile. You know, here's a boat tile that says, hey, for every movement action that you have within your village, it's worth 1 bonus point. And then if you have gold, gold can be used as a wild card, like we said, so you can use it to count victory points in lieu of wood or stone or iron, but it's also, if you have extra gold that you don't need to make other combinations, it's just worth 1 point each. So those are the 6 ways you can score points in this game. So Jen, with that quick explanation, and I don't know if we did it justice or not, I don't think we did, but I think they'll learn better if we just play a game. So let's go ahead and pause that camera, and then we'll set up for the game and go from there. Okay, we're now set up for the spring round, the first of 4 rounds. You notice that we've each received 3 winter tiles that will come out in the last season. So there's only 6 tiles, and we each have 3, so these are the 6 that will come out, or we can choose to hold some back if we don't like those tiles towards the end of the game. The other thing we've done is from the meeple bag, we've blind drawn 8 meeples. So I have 8 behind my screen here, and Jen has 8 behind here, which I can't see, and we'll be using those to bid on these tiles. The other thing is we each have our home tile set out, and we randomly drew this. Jim got home 3 and I got home 5. Because hers was a lower number, she's going to be the start player and will get to place the first bid. So let's just very quickly talk about these 6 tiles just so you can get a feel for the specifics of them, what we're bidding for, etc. Jen, can you see this one here?
Yep.
The first one's the key mine, so it's a mine tile. So as you'd expect, a mine will yield iron. So if you place a worker here and activate this tile, you get 1 iron. And then if later in the game you're able to do an upgrade, and to do it you need an anvil skill, and if you have the anvil skill and you upgrade this tile, then for the rest of the game, when you activate it, you don't get 1 iron, you get 3 iron. At the end of the game, you'd also get 3 victory points. And the way you activate is on your home tile and other tiles that look like this, they do 2 things. The horse and the carriage says 1, that means you can move a resource 1 tile away. the little house or up arrow, depending on what you look at, is an upgrade. That says you can upgrade one thing. So if I activate this tile, I can do two different actions. I can move a good from one tile to another, and I can upgrade any tile in my village. So if I had earlier won this tile and it was part of my village here, and then I activated this tile, I could upgrade a tile. I may choose to upgrade this. I would of course need to fulfill whatever the requirement is for upgrade. In this case, I'd need to have an anvil skill, and if I did, I would upgrade it, and for the rest of the game it'd be more valuable, and at the end it would be worth points. Okay, so let's just go through all 6 of these. That was the first. The second one is the workshop. You can see before it's upgraded, it's worth 1 resource of your choice, either an iron or a wood or a stone. But later in the game, if you upgrade it with 2 different resources and activate it, then it's worth 3, a full set of resources. Let's look at the ale house. If you activate this, it's worth 1 meeple. It's a question mark because it's a blind pull from the meeple bag. And later, if you upgrade this tile, that is, upgrade it by using a wood, a stone, and an iron, then for the rest of the game, it would be turned over like this. It gives you no victory points, but for the rest of the game, you would get a blind pull of 2 meeples from the bag instead of just 1. Let's look at this, the apprentice hall. So apprentice increases your skills, obviously. So what you're doing here is you get to do a blind pull of a skill tile. If you remember, skill tiles are the 3 things we looked at earlier. There's hammers in there, there's saws for woodworking, and there is an anvil for ironworking. And you can get those skill tiles here. This is one way, and if you upgrade it later in the game, you would get 3 points at the end game, and also each time this tile was activated, you would get 2 skill tiles instead of 1. There's also something here called a peddler. If you activate this tile, you need to have a yellow meeple to do it, but if I have a yellow meeple behind my screen or out on the board somewhere and I activate this tile, then I discard my yellow meeple back into the bag and I get a pull of green meeple. And green is valuable. It's not like a wild card. It doesn't substitute for other colors. Instead, it's just a 4th color. So if I get this tile and I get the first green meeple, you can see the power there because no one can outbid me. With just 1 meeple, I can win any bid if I get to bid first. Okay, and the final tile we'll be bidding for here in round 1 is the stable tile. And this gives you the opportunity to move 1 good 2 tiles away, or 2 different goods 1 tile. So 2 total movements, and you can also upgrade. Later in the game, if I upgrade this tile, it would be worth 5 points at end game, and now I can move 4 goods by 1 space, or 1 good 4 spaces, or any combination, and I can upgrade 2 different tiles in my village. So if I get this, I can really start upgrading quicker and quicker, which is an important way because a lot of the in-game victory points will come from upgraded tiles. And the final tile we'll be bidding on is over here. It's the turn order tile. And this just says you get that turn order marker. Remember, we're using the bird instead of the purple meeple, but you get that. And that says if you're the first player, then I don't know if you can see these boats way over here, Jen.
Oh.
But these boats represent the new workers coming. So you can see they each have a different number of workers and different number of skill tiles, but this is the main way you'll get meeples and skill tiles in this game. And so you want to bid, if you see something you really like, you want to go for that. You'll see this one has 3 red, 2 blue, and a yellow. So if I felt I really needed red for whatever reason, I might go for this. This has 3 yellow and 3 blue. So if I wanted to, for instance, go for this peddler tile and try to get a lot of green, I'd need some yellow meeples in order to accomplish that, and so I might try to get this boat, and therefore I could use my peddler tile to get green meeples, if that makes sense. Okay, so I think that's the explanation, Jen. Why don't you go ahead and zoom out, and you're the start player, so you get the first bid, and let's go ahead and actually show how this game works. Right. Okay, she's bidding 2 yellow there. I'm going to bid. And we may be influenced by our winter tiles because we know what some of the in-game scoring will be based on that.
Let's see, I'm going to go...
What am I doing? Hello? Okay.
Let's see. Alrighty, I think I'm going to bid right here. Alright, I'm on this side.
Going for skills, okay. I'm going to do this. Bid for the stable.
I'm going to bid for...
The other thing I'll mention while she's doing that is just because you win one of these and it goes into your village, let's say Jen won the peddler and went into her village, I can still use this tile. I can use it while it's in her village, but whatever I put on that tile, whatever meeples I place there, will in fact go to her behind her screen at the end of the round.
I'll go here.
Okay, and I like the workshop as well, so I'm gonna put in a competing bid for that one. And note that once there's a competing bid in, this is now a losing bid, so she can either, like she's gonna do, she really wants this, so she's gonna upgrade it. She could have also taken that blue and just bid it on a different tile that hasn't been bid for yet. And now I have a losing bid here, so I'm going to say fine, and I'm jumping to the ale house.
I think I'm just gonna pass.
And you can pass, and then if I pass again, the round would be over. But if I bid, then the round would not be over. If you have a winning bid, you lose that meeple because he's done the work. If you have a losing bid, you get to, those meeples come back to you. But winning bids are lost. So I'm going to look here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. Looks like we're fighting for green here, so I'm going to outbid Jen on the green, or on the peddler tile.
Can I take these and do I have to move it out here somewhere?
Yeah, you cannot put them behind your screen. Once they're out, they're out. But you, for instance, could bid on, and matter of fact, all these others already have colors, so the only thing you could do is bid here if you wanted to. Okay, and with that, I'm going to pass.
And I'm gonna pass.
Okay, so we all pass. So then what we do is we take the tiles that we want into our village, and let's just start here with this tile. So I have the winning bid here, right? So I bring this into my village. I lose this guy because he's done his work. Put him back in the bag. Jen, you won that tile, so you bring that over to your village. I won the ale house, so I bring it to my village. And these are all winning bids, so these are lost. You won the apprentice hall, so take that to your village. I won the peddler, so I'll bring that one to my village. And I won the stable, so I'll bring that to my village. And all these that were winning bids go back into the bag. And Jen, you also won this bid for the start player. So which of these boats would you like better for summer?
I would like this one.
Okay, you take that, and I'll take this. All this stuff goes behind our screen. And then Jen, can you pause the camera and let's get set up for round two. So that's 1/4 of the game right there. Played this game too many times, right? We played it a few, so I think our strategies aren't quite honed in. We had a lot of missing opportunities that we never quite got to realize, and that's the nature of this game a little bit too. There's some natural constraints there, right?
Yeah.
That part feels a little bit like tight games like Agricola or something, where you see what you can do, but you start to realize, yikes, I'm not going to be able to do it quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at any rate, after playing this game, any comments? How would you rate this game? What would you say about it?
Well, it was a really fun game. Like you said, it's kind of hard to put it in a category, which makes it unique, and I really liked it. And it's kind of similar to Carcassonne even, because you have to place your tiles, and I think that's really fun. And the colors of the meeples are super bright, and I think it's overall a pretty simple game. It kind of takes a long time, but it's still fun. So I'd rate this game 1 to 10, probably 7. I'm not a big fan of the really heavy thinking games, but this one was pretty fun.
Okay, thank you. And if I look at this game, I think the components are great, the meeples are nice, the tiles are nice, everything's beautiful, the artwork, even on the detail on the little houses, is so fun. So the production is awesome, and the gameplay is very engaging for me. Matter of fact, I rate this game, I don't know if you know this, in my top 10 of all time. This is one of my favorite games. Why? Because it, like I said, it's such a good mesh of a variety of mechanics that it's really engaging. You can, you could play this game 100 times and learn something in each game, if you know what I mean. There's different combinations. The tiles, with 2-player games, you play with 6 tiles each season. There's 12 total. So we saw in this game less than half the tiles that are available in the entire game. So the replay value is very high. It's very engaging experience. It gives you an opportunity to grow with the game and try different types of strategies. So I really enjoyed the game. And again, I'd rate it from my thinking in the range of about 9 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it and had a great experience.
Thanks.
So that is Keyflower.
Keyflower. Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.